Hi everyone, I'm Jon Gottfried, and tonight I'm making some chocolate chip cookies for my friend Erica. And I'm going to walk you through it here on glass in first person mode. So this cookie recipe is my father's. It's sort of similar to the typical Toll House cookie, but a little denser. So let's just get started. I'll pop the ingredients and all of that up on the screen. So the first thing we need to do is to cream the butter and the sugar. So I've left this butter out. It's room temperature. You can actually stick your finger into it a bit so you know that it's softened. And I'm just going to pop it into my mixer bowl. There we go. And then we're going to add the sugar. So I need half a cup of brown sugar and a quarter cup of white sugar. So I have some brown sugar here. Dark brown is better, but it doesn't make a huge difference. There's the brown sugar. And then I'm going to need some white sugar. Quarter cup. Awesome. And now we can start whipping this up here. And it'll take a little bit to get whipped properly. Longer if you do it by hand. Now you're going to want to scrape this down about halfway through once they start to combine, but you should keep whipping after until it gets light and fluffy. Okay, this is going pretty well. Okay, I'm going to scrape this down a bit. Still pretty dense. You're going to want to let that whip a bit more so it gets fluffy. I'm going to scrape it down once more because it's a pretty small quantity for such a large bowl. We want it to all get properly integrated here. Okay, so now if you go scrape it down, it'll feel a little lighter. But I'm going to keep going another minute. So it's really good. Awesome, so that's looking good. You can start to see some little peaks here. It actually feels a little lighter when you pick it up. Has some air bubbles in it. So we're ready to go on and add the eggs and vanilla. So I'm just going to crack each egg in here. And I'm going to pop it in. There we go with one. And let's mix that up a bit. You want to do the eggs one at a time here. And you're going to need to scrape it down about halfway through to make sure it gets all mixed together. Okay. We're also going to want to add the vanilla at this point. We're going to need half a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just going to add that right in while the mixer is going. There we go. Okay. Let's scrape this out once more. We don't want to overbeat the egg though, but you do want to make sure everything gets fully mixed together here. Okay, that's starting to look pretty good. Perfect. So you can see that now. It looks pretty fluffy. You have little peaks there, some bubbles. The eggs, sugar, and vanilla and butter are all mixed together. So now we can move on and add all of the dry ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to add here is flour. We have 1 cup of flour. I'm just going to get my 1 cup measure here. We're going to add 1 nice full cup. There we go. Just going to dump that right in. And then we have to add the baking soda and salt. So we're going to need half a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to scrape it off up here so we have an even amount. I'm just going to sprinkle it around here so it gets all distributed. And then we're going to need an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, since this is a pretty small recipe. We're just going to dump that right in there. There we go. An 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And now we can mix it up a bit. I'm going to put this guard on so the flour doesn't spray out. Okay, everything's starting to mix together quite nicely. Okay, I'm just going to scrape this down once to make sure everything is all good and mixed together. Some of the flour is sticking to the sides here, so we want to make sure all of that gets in. Okay, looking pretty good. Okay, now we're all mixed up. We have our batter here, and the last thing we need to do is add our chocolate chips, which I pre-measured over here. And we have 6 ounces of chocolate chips. It's a combination of dark and semi-sweet, just because that's what I had around, but you know, theoretically it doesn't matter. So let's just dump those in, turn that on. Awesome, so that's some good looking cookie dough. It's all clumped together, it's nice and thick, kind of fluffy, looks pretty nice. Okay, so last but not least we have to bake them. So let's grab this bowl and pop it over to the pan here. So, I'm just using a standard stainless steel pan, not greased, and I have a little cookie scoop here. So So I'm just going to go right in and start scooping them out. The cookie scoop is not necessary, but it does help them all stay pretty uniform in shape and size, so I like to use it. There you go. You want them to be pretty evenly spaced out so they don't meld together there. This batch is going to make probably a dozen or two. It's a half recipe, so it'll be a little less than normal. The normal one probably makes more than 30. Let's pop these in here. Okay. Let's start spreading these out a bit more. Getting a little clumped together. Okay. Looks like we're going to have to do 2 batches here so that the cookies don't run over each other. These are looking pretty good. So there we have it, our nice little cookies. I'll move this over a little bit, space this out. But we should be good to go. The oven is set to 375 and they'll bake for about 12 to 15 minutes depending on how crispy you like them. So let's do that up. Okie dokie, see you in 12 minutes. Okay, looks like the first batch here is done. Let's check them out. Oh man, they look perfect. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to pull them right out. We're going to pop them right over here. And I'm going to let them set for a bit so that we can take them off the pan without them falling apart. Okay, now that they've cooled down a bit, I can take them off of the pan and start putting them on the cooling rack here. Look at that, those are some beautiful cookies. Okay, and I think I will have to try one here. Let's check it out. Perfect. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more awesome cooking.